Hi there, welcome to Languages if you're new here. If not, happy to see you here again. If you don't know, my name is Julia and I'm here to share with some of my favorite hobbies. Learning languages and art are among them. And that's exactly what I'd like to talk about today and show you how I combine these two different, at first glance, hobbies. So stick around if you're curious and let's get started. As you might have guessed from the video title, today I'm going to focus on writing, which is another vital part of language learning. There are quite a lot of people who simply avoid this part of learning. They usually say that they just need to be able to talk, to be able to communicate with native speakers, and they don't actually need writing, which is crazy. You can't learn a foreign language without being able to write in it, okay? Moreover, writing can even help you with your speaking skills. When your thoughts are well explained, well formed, well expressed on paper, they will become well expressed in your speech. That's for sure, trust me. That's why you should really consider improving and mastering your writing skills in the language you're learning. If I was able to convince you at least a little bit, keep watching and I'll show you what I myself write in my target languages. Okay, when it comes to writing, it might be difficult to decide on what exactly you should write about. It may be difficult even with our native languages, let alone those that we are trying to master. So here's what I came up with, since I guess writing essays only in your target language might become monotonous and quite boring. So I decided to add some art into this process, and this creative approach gave a birth to all of these art projects that I've got now. Let's have a closer look at it. And I guess let's start with this notebook that I have, which I dedicated to Great Britain, my so-called UK project. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure you have already seen some of the pages from this notebook. I started it last year and from the beginning planned to divide it into 4 main parts: England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. So far I finished the England part, which I divided as well into regions and counties, writing about history, geography, traditions, cuisine and whatever I found interesting enough. You can't imagine how much I expanded my vocabulary and my knowledge about England in general. I used loads of pictures, some of them I printed, other ones I drew myself. Right now I'm working on the second part of the project, which is Scotland. If you didn't know, on my website you can, by the way, see pretty much everything, a really big part of this notebook. So if you're a fan of Great Britain or just learning English, you should definitely have a look at it. The UK project in reality has minimum of history, because everything history related, English history to be precise, I have in this notebook. Right now, unfortunately, I don't have much time to work on this project, because usually when I work on some project, I really prefer to go deep to the subject, to read a lot, to watch a lot about something I'm working on. And well, just this month I've been too far away from history. But anyway, let's have a look inside and let's see what I've done here so far. As you can see, I started from the very beginning of the English history, so that I'll be able to understand more as I go from one history period to another one. Of course, I couldn't avoid adding some pictures or maps that will make the pages look nicer. And I just think that pages full of text only look boring, and also getting information from such pages full of text might be hard. Don't know about you, but I usually need some pictures and books related to history. Here I'm not talking about novels, of course. In my view, pictures of historically important people, maps, and something like that are important in such literature. That's why I add some of it to my English history notebook. In general, I get all the information from two books. This one I have in Russian, couldn't find the original version. So after reading a chapter, I write the main things in English here. And the second book I use for this project is this one. There's a lot of information, really. The book is very beautifully designed. It's a pleasure to work with it. And now, my dear reading journal. I've shown it already several times, I'm sure, on this channel. I created this journal, this diary to write about the books I'm reading, my impressions, my ideas, some beautiful quotes I find in every book that I've read. I write here in English, Spanish, well, it depends on the book I'm reading, and also planning in the nearest future to add French when I finish something in French. I guess this reading journal is the most creative of my art projects because apart from writing about a specific book, I add my own ideas that makes me think more in any of those languages I'm learning and then write down my thoughts here. It happens very often. I find a lot of new phrases or idioms that I add to my English or Spanish vocabulary. Well, and the last project I'd like to show you today is actually the one that gave me the idea to start my UK project. When I decided to go deeper into Spanish learning, I understood that I knew almost nothing about Spanish culture, rather than about Spain in general. So I decided to write about Spain in Spanish, taking all the information from the internet, and as you can see, here I drew some pictures as well. This Spanish project is in fact pending, so to speak. Now I really want to renew it, to add more information, to make it more beautiful and, of course, share with you on my website. Well, seems like I've shown you all of the art projects I have. I'm sure I have more though, because as you may have guessed, I'm a big fan of writing, of creating some notebooks, designing some journals. I've been into this since my childhood, I guess, because when I was a kid, my favorite activity, was to cut out some pictures from paper, from magazines with my mom, and to cut out those paper dolls and then glue those pictures somewhere. As I remember myself, I was always doing something, writing, designing, drawing in those hundreds, even thousands of notebooks that I had in my childhood. Some of them I still have, by the way. So I guess my love towards paper comes from that. And now it just seems like I found another way to imply my love towards paper to something useful, which is language learning. Thank you for watching this video, friends. Subscribe for more and tell me in the comments what you think about all of these art projects I've shown you today. Maybe you're doing something similar or are going to start doing something like this after watching this video. In any case, I really hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video.